Before Spanish colonization, the coastal plain that would become Zamboanga City was already a vibrant center of exchange. For the Subanen, the earliest known inhabitants of the Zamboanga Peninsula, this coast was the gateway of their rivers. From upland valleys, they carried forest products, food, precious stones, and gold nuggets to trade at the shore. Archaeological evidence and oral traditions confirm that Zamboanga was a Subanen crossroads of trade long before Fort Pilar was built in 1635. Archaeological evidence and oral traditions confirm that Zamboanga was a Subanen crossroads of trade long before Fort Pilar was built in 1635. The story of Zamboanga as a Subanen trade hub begins inland, where rivers carved their way through forests and mountains. For the Subanen, the rivers were not merely waterways, they were roads, lifelines, and sacred boundaries. They practiced swidden farming, planting upland rice, corn, millet, and root crops. From forests they gathered rattan, resin, beeswax, and honey. They hunted wild pigs and deer and fished the rivers. But most prized were the gold nuggets and precious stones panned from mountain streams. Before journeys to the coast, the Balian, ritual leader, offered prayers and sacrifices, believing no trade could succeed without permission from the spirits. Then families loaded their goods on rafts and canoes, traveling the winding rivers toward Zamboanga, where freshwater met saltwater and upland met sea. In Subanen society, gold was not reserved for elites. It was so abundant that even common people, freemen and servants alike, wore gold necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and plated teeth. Chiefs, Timue, had larger ornaments, but gold was part of everyday adornment. Gold carried cultural and spiritual meaning, offered in rituals to the spirits and ancestors, used as bride wealth in marriages, paid as fines in disputes, symbolizing restored harmony. This abundance made the Subanen famous. Traders valued their gold, while raiders targeted their communities because gold was visible on every person, not hidden away. The coast of Zamboanga was the Subanen marketplace. Here, mats were spread on the sand, piled with rice, wax, rattan, honey, and pouches of gold dust. Voices in the Subanen tongue filled the air, bartering under the guidance of Tulumanan, customary law, which demanded fairness in every exchange. A pouch of gold might be traded for an iron blade. A block of beeswax might be swapped for salt. A coil of rattan could be exchanged for cloth or beads. The market was not only economic but social and spiritual, where alliances were renewed and rituals of sharing upheld. Archaeological finds of Chinese porcelain and imported beads proved that goods traded on Zamboanga's shore traveled far beyond, into Sulu, Borneo, and even China. Yet the Subanen remained the center. Without their products, the coast would have had no wealth to offer. Excavations in Zamboanga uncovered Ming Dynasty ceramics, 14th-16th centuries, glass beads, and iron artifacts. These finds confirmed that international trade routes touched Zamboanga long before Spain. The Subanen, though not seafarers, were suppliers to global networks: beeswax for Chinese shipbuilding, gold dust and nuggets as portable currency, resins and rattan for regional trade. Foreign traders recognized this wealth. Chinese merchants valued gold, Indian traders sought stones, and even British voyagers saw Zamboanga's promise not in slaves, but in upland treasures. Wealth also brought danger. The same coast that made Zamboanga a crossroads also exposed the Subanen to raids. Slave raiders and pirates came not only for captives, but to strip villagers of their gold jewelry and ornaments. Entire settlements were burned, survivors fled inland, and oral traditions recall the terror of Pangaya, raiding expeditions. Yet the Subanen persisted. Despite danger, they continued to return to Zamboanga's shore because it was the center of their trade world, the meeting of rivers and sea. Yet the Subanen persisted. Despite danger, they continued to return to Zamboanga's shore because it was the center of their trade world, the meeting of rivers and sea. Zamboanga's first identity was not colonial, it was Subanen. The coast became a hub because Subanen rivers supplied it with wealth. Archaeological finds of porcelain and beads are silent witnesses of this truth. Subanen hands carried gold, rice, wax, and resin to the shore, making Zamboanga flourish. Though raids, colonization, and migration pushed them inland, the Subanen endured. Their Tulumanan still guides justice, their Buklog rituals still honor the Creator, and their oral traditions still recall the golden age when Zamboanga was theirs. Their Tulumanan still guides justice, their Buklog rituals still honor the Creator, and their oral traditions still recall the golden age when Zamboanga was theirs. Today, Zamboanga City is a bustling port, but its deepest roots belong to the Subanen. They were the first traders of its shore, the lifeblood of its early economy, and the guardians of its rivers. Their legacy reminds us, Zamboanga's golden crossroads was built not by forts but by Subanen hands, Subanen wealth, and Subanen spirit. Their legacy reminds us, Zamboanga's golden crossroads was built not by forts but by Subanen hands, Subanen wealth, and Subanen spirit.